Good God, we're here. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here on Unks in the building. UNCS Unks in the building. Resident Unk Byron here with the fantastic Auntie Stacy.
Hello.
Today we are again going to be doing some Reddit stories.
Yes.
All right.
This one, kind of like this. The theme is like the math ain't mathing. Something's not adding up. Okay. Those are the stories. Okay. The theme for the stories. All right. This one comes from the subreddit. Am I the AITA? Am I the a-hole?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the a-hole for being furious with my pregnant wife over a prank?
Okay.
31 male. I've been with my wife Lisa since college and she's currently 7 months pregnant with our first baby. My wife Lisa is witty and likes to play jokes on me. For example, she likes to pass off fake facts and stories as real and see if I believe them. Sounds like somebody I know. You sometimes do that.
What are you been saying right now? What are you even saying?
You say something and be like, I'm just kidding. But you do it right after.
I do.
Yeah.
I do that a whole lot. You're right.
Lisa was a theater kid, and so she's great at acting and selling these stories. I used to fall for her pranks all the time since I'm gullible and she's so convincing. However, now that I've been with her so many years, I can typically tell when she's messing with me.
Okay.
She's upped the antics over the years, and so she can occasionally get me to believe one of her jokes. Today I got home from work. Lisa had tears in her eyes and told me she needed to talk to me about something. I was seriously worried and sat down with her immediately. I asked what was wrong several times, and she kept saying it was hard to talk about, and she was terrified that I'd leave her. I kept pressing, and she told me that she had an affair with her boss several months ago and wasn't sure if the baby was mine. I asked if she was serious, and she said she was 100% serious and started crying even harder. I got up, started pacing, and tried to gather my thoughts. After a few minutes, Lisa bursted into laughter and said she was joking.
Nope.
I was furious.
Yep.
I said it wasn't funny in the slightest to make jokes about cheating and the child not being mine.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa then said she was a bit offended that I believed that specific prank and not several others. She said she couldn't believe I actually thought she'd cheat on me. Then she got teary and asked why I didn't trust her. I asked why I would...
You've been cracking these jokes, but what you mean why I don't trust you? This is what you do. You have built distrust.
I asked why I would trust
lying.
her. Why would I trust her? After she pulled that prank on me, managed to cry telling me about it, and continued with the prank even though I was viably upset. I mean, I think he meant visibly upset.
Right.
Lisa said it was harmless, and I was blowing things way out of proportion. She continued to ask why I didn't trust her, and I told her I needed some space. I ended up going to a speakeasy, a bar, and I have been away from the house ever since, even though Lisa has called several times. I know it was a prank, but I think that this joke went way too far, especially with the tears. I also was clearly upset, as anyone would be,
right.
And she should have stopped as soon as she realized I was actually falling for it.
Agreed.
Usually Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason. Am I the a-hole and am I overreacting? I feel badly because she's very pregnant with my child, and I didn't want to stress her out, but I do need space right now.
You can't play
No.
with infidelity.
No. And father of the baby?
And
DNA?
fatherhood.
No, that's not funny. That's
can't-
never. You got me. You got me thinking that you're a whore. You can't. Honestly, go ahead. You go ahead with your thoughts.
You can't. The thing is, yeah, she jokes like that. I get it. It's like, but you have created an environment where if somebody is like not with the jokes all the time, and it's like, okay, you're not gonna get one over on me this time,
Right.
and I get what you're doing, but then you double down on it, and then the tears and all this other stuff about something so serious. a man who want to be in his kid life, that's gonna be a problem. Just off the rip, like that's automatically you talking about his prize, his queen, or whatever. He looks at his wife as is being violated by another man. You're talking about
that just alone to deal with
sanctity of the marriage
and
being violated,
the baby,
and then on top of that, if that's it, especially if that's his first kid,
it seems like it.
You know, if they don't have no other kids together, and he's looking forward to fatherhood as something to be excited about, and then all of a sudden he's like, and you tell him, this ain't mine, and he's like, oh, it's a lot to what's the word I'm looking for? Not digest, but it's a lot to, you gotta kind of gather yourself after that one. You can't just drop that on somebody. And then the other part, which I always say with these, like, you don't know the person's history, right? So when you start playing with something like that, depending on his history, I mean, she would know his history. Depending on his history, where he may have experienced that before, I don't know. Joke. But that if he did, then that would definitely be, this is a mean-spirited joke. Now, a-hole for having an emotional moment? Absolutely not. I don't think you're the a-hole, because that joke wasn't funny. And she crossed the line, and then she doubled down on it, and then came with the tears. And it's like, now you're questioning me. Like, I can't believe you don't trust me. Oh, is this a joke too? Because you're still crying.
When is the tears real?
Like, when is it? Like, I can't trust you now at all. I don't know. I don't know what I'm dealing with, because if you're willing to go this far to put the theatrics on something this serious, and you see I'm not playing, and then you keep going with it, I don't know what I'm dealing with. Because when it's something
sounds
serious,
kind of psychopathy.
Yeah, when it's something serious, I might look up and be like, oh, this is her doing her again.
But he specifically asked, "Are you being serious?"
Right.
And she said, "I'm 100% being serious."
Yeah, no. Then you just lying at that point, and it's not a good look.
Here's my theory. She did cheat on him.
Here we go.
And she saw how it was going. She saw, you know what? I won't be able to recover from this.
Right.
So let me go back and pretend it's a prank so that this could be something else, because we're not going to recover from this. I think she tried to claw back.
It could be.
Because you're this pregnant. She said she's very pregnant. That's what came up in your mind? Yeah, to tell the man that walked in from work that the baby in your belly, you don't think it's his? Ha ha ha. No.
Not a good joke.
Something's off.
Not a good joke.
The math ain't mathin'. Something's off. I don't believe her.
It's saying, like, maybe.
Either she's not altogether there, like, because that's not a funny joke to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's now turning it on him, like, the harm is, you saw that if she's calling it harmless, which how could that be harmless?
Right. The thing is, you said I crack these type jokes, and I do. But not like that.
No, they're never malicious. They're never like.
It's kind of like,
oh my god, world changing. This stupid stuff. Like you know, they named this street after such and such, and you're like, oh really? I'm like, nah, no. I just made that up. You're like, okay, great. But
like this just so happens.
But it seems like all of her other jokes were harmless, and this one was not. So that's why that made me believe. I'm like, is she cracking a prank, or is she? I don't know
if all the other ones are harmless.
That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
He said her jokes are usually funny, and this one, where is it? Even though usually Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason.
Right.
Okay, so people's not the a-hole sent her fake divorce papers and let her see how funny it is for her.
Right. Now I'm just playing about that.
Someone says totally harmless. That's totally harmless. People are like, you need to get a paternity test.
That would raise up questions.
Right.
Like, for real.
Seeds of doubt.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't play like that. You can play about, okay, I went and test drove a car and then tell the person you bought it, I know we having some financial troubles, but this is always my dream car. I'm gonna take care of it, I promise. After we just had that conversation, like, nah, I'm just borrowing it. You know, I just did this just to get this job. Like, it was one thing. When you talking about a kid that you can't put back, like I could take a car back.
Right.
I wouldn't even go as far as a car because I think it's too much.
It's not funny though. So
the
pranks,
baby situation,
first
like,
of all,
nah, bro, pranks are whack.
Let's talk about pranks. First of all, I think pranks should only be in the vein of like lighthearted things.
I don't like them at all.
It shouldn't be devastating.
Yeah, but I don't like them. I think it's kind of silly. Like,
you know, have you ever seen those little? It's probably not in America, but they always show them here when the laugh track is going on, where like somebody goes into a porta potty and then they put like a
they come out into the meeting.
Come out and there's a meeting and you're like, what's going on? And then right after that, then they show you, hey, there's a camera over there. Ha ha ha. Those are pranks.
Yeah.
You know, but when or something that turns out you think something's going one way and then it's actually better than what you thought.
Right.
But not
this TV show Practical Jokers, that type.
Right. Easy stuff that you can get over with. Not things that are devastating, world shattering. Like that shattered his entire world for a few minutes.
If you're gonna do that type of joke, you need to quickly just be like, nah, I'm just playing with you.
That's not a.
I'm just saying, even if you're gonna do it, you cannot.
She got together. She was in the verge of tears. She was crying already when he walked in.
She did too much.
So yeah. Somebody said, was it really a prank or partially true? Maybe she was testing the waters to see how you might react to a confession of infidelity. Either way, it was a pretty messed up thing to do, especially since she knows the OP often falls for them. It's like she wanted to hurt him.
Yeah.
Weird.
And they married or dating?
They're married.
Yeah.
For many years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not okay.
I had to be sure. I thought it was married before, but I said as much. But no, this is it's not okay.
Okay, here's another one.
Not an overreaction.
Yeah, not an overreaction, not the a-hole. He's just literally sitting in a bar trying to get some time away.
Yeah.
Because he was hurt and upset.
And now he got to test your kid because it might not be his.
Yeah. All right. So my 29 female husband, 31 male, got a paternity test on our daughter, 5-year-old female, and it came back negative.
Ooh.
But I never cheated. Now he thinks our relationship is a lie and wants to divorce. What do I do?
Lord Jesus.
I don't know how it happened. I haven't even been able to stop crying all day. I've never cheated. I love my husband. We've been together since college, and he's the love of my life. He's handsome and kind, and while I've slept with
Why would he go get a paternity test? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's handsome and kind, and while I've slept with 2 other people before they got together, both were before we got together, there's no other potential father of our daughter. We were married already and actively trying for a baby. I never cheated. I never would cheat, and I don't know why he took that stupid test because I would never ever cheat. But it came back negative, and now he thinks he's not the dad. He's not her dad. I don't know how to convince him it was a faulty test, and I'm so scared. The past few months, it's been like he's become someone completely different from the man I married.
Understandable.
He's cold and suspicious. He kept demanding to see my phone and wouldn't tell me why. And I showed him at first, but eventually told him I wouldn't anymore unless he explained why. He's been distant with our daughter too. He stays in his office for hours on end, and I don't know what he's doing. I did not cheat. He accused me this morning, saying he's done the test after realizing that our daughter's eyes, brown, wouldn't naturally come from both of ours, which are blue, and that he wanted me to get out of the house. I didn't leave, and he locked me out of our bedroom, and now I'm in my daughter's room. This is terrifying. What should I do?
Okay, you got dominant and recessive genes.
Yeah.
Is there a possible combination where 2 people with recessive genes can come together and have a kid that has a dominant gene, eye color?
No.
And then
I don't think so.
I don't know how I can't remember. I knew how that worked at one point in time, but I can't remember. So that is a little scary. However, well, I guess that's his reason. I was about to ask what drove him to be suspicious to begin with.
Right.
I guess he knows this thing.
There is an edit that I want to add. The specific advice I want is how I can prove I'm innocent and how to make sure this relationship works. I want to keep my family together at all costs. Also, I just had a conversation with my husband. He's out of his room now and we discussed some things. I told him that I would never cheat and started talking about a list of tests I want done. But he told me that he didn't want to hear it right now. We're going to have a longer conversation tomorrow, and he said that he still loves our daughter and he won't try to keep me out of the house or our room for now. That's kind of wild. I asked him to hug me and he did. I'm scared that I won't be able to convince him. I just want our family to go back to normal. How can I be a good wife and support his needs while proving my innocence?
That's tough. A couple things that could happen. Either the baby got swapped at the hospital, if you're innocent. Mm-hmm. Like I said, faulty test. Where you got, I don't remember how dominant and recessive genes work.
I don't think two blue-eyed people can make a brown-eyed kid.
That's the thing. Like
a brown and a blue could do that.
But a brown, because the brown is going to be dominant. That's the thing.
Right.
That's kind of like, man, I see why he got questions, because where is this coming from? I've seen light colors skip a generation,
right?
But I haven't seen
two blues. Two lights make a dark.
Yeah, because you can have two browns, and it's because one person got a dominant. We ain't going into science on this podcast, but yeah, two browns can technically make a light.
Yeah,
but two lights shouldn't be able to make a brown.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little concerning, there, fella.
So what would happen for me and you if that were to happen?
That's a little concerning.
But I would maintain I did not cheat. So what would you do?
And we've already had a paternity test saying that didn't happen. I mean, like, the Lord gonna have to tell me it's immaculate conception, because that's a tough one.
It would be.
My little girl didn't look just like me. I mean.
All right, here's the update.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. First off, I want to thank everyone who reached out. My original post got so much attention. It was hard to get to everything, but I ended up making a list of plans and tests I wanted to get done. My husband was understandably distrustful of me for a while, but he apologized for the way he acted, which I didn't need, and said that he wouldn't try to kick me out of our home, which is a little bit wild to me.
Right.
Him saying those kind of things is wild. But I understand. I would understand. But kicking her out of the home is a lot. He did say, though,
she was a slutty vegan.
He did say, though, that if every test came back and I cheated, he was going to go scorched earth. He's a little unhinged.
He is a little unhinged.
He's a little unhinged. We did a few tests, blood paternity tests for him and me and our daughter.
Okay.
And we had an appointment with a chimerism.
No idea what that is.
Specialist coming up. But that got canceled because, well,
blood came back
some
perfect.
of you guessed it, but my daughter is not biologically mine either.
What?
I don't know how this happened.
At birth.
But a police officer came to our house and took our statements, and we're suing the hospital where I gave birth. I don't know what happened to my baby, and that is terrifying. I have my husband back, but my whole world was still upended, and I just wish he'd never taken that stupid test. We've been sleeping in my daughter's room. I've been sleeping in my daughter's room, and I'm so afraid that she's going to be taken away from me. But at the same time, I want to know where my biological daughter is and if she's okay. I pray to God she's okay. My daughter still doesn't know the details, and we've been trying to keep this quiet. The last thing we need is a big scandal. I don't want people to know us. I don't want people who know us to look at her differently. She deserves better than that. She's such a good kid.
How old is the kid?
5.
Oh, man, it's been a minute, too.
Yes, and she's not some spectacle to be gawked at. If we can find her birth family, I have no idea what we'll do. I guess if we can find her birth family, the original baby, her baby that she has right now.
Right.
I have no idea what we'll do. I guess the best case scenario would be to get a bigger house and all live together, but I don't know if we can afford that or if they'd go for that, or if even we'll be able to locate them, or if I'm just crazy. The whole situation is crazy. I don't know anyone else who'd been put in a situation like this. I mean, are there support groups for parents of kids who got mixed up? I Googled and nothing came up. Literally, all I'm getting are tabloid articles from trashy magazines that slap the faces of innocent kids on the same pages as celebrity sex scandals and fiction. How do we tell our daughter? I mean, I can't tell her now. She'll tell the kids at school and then it'll be everywhere.
Right.
But we have to say something. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. You know,
Yep.
that makes a lot more sense. Definitely would have to contact that hospital.
Yeah. But like, how do you even know which kid?
They got to contact the hospital.
Well, they're suing the hospital.
Yeah, they got to get
Yeah.
everybody who had a baby that day
Right.
around
Or at
this
least that
time.
time frame, yeah.
Yeah, like 3 days, 4 days prior, that week-ish. I mean,
Crazy. It would have to be that day.
It had to be
or
that
within
day
because they just go home after that.
yeah, unless they didn't have a regular
Birth.
birth and NICU type situation. But even
Right.
still, like, how does that's some stuff from the 60s type situation. Like, it
Right.
ain't no modern
Because
day.
nowadays,
stay
I
in
thought
some
the
other
babies
country.
stay in the same room with them. Like back in the day, in the 70s and stuff, you have the nursery where they take the baby away, put the baby in the nursery, and
Clean
you
them
could see
up
how that happens. But now the babies stay in the room with the mom.
Yeah, unless it was
So unless there
intentional.
was, like you said, there was some kind of NICU stay situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name tags
That's
messed
tough,
up.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's wild.
So now it's like she's afraid of the baby being taken away because it's not her baby, and that's a whole nother world to be afraid of. So now she's afraid of him. But the thing is, I know she's upset at him for taking the test, but like this would come up eventually, somehow. You find that out.
If something happened and the kid need blood or something like that, yeah.
like something
Yeah, you're
would
not a
happen.
match. Neither
Or
one of
the
y'all
kid
match.
goes and she does some science, and they're like, "Okay, what blood type are you?" And you find out what blood type your parents are, and they may
I
not
think
be
that might
right.
have had me looking crazy just off the rip. Well, maybe not, because both our eyes are brown.
Right.
But if our kid would have came out with blue eyes, it'd have been like, what is? But then at the same
You
time,
see
it's
people
like,
in my family have that. Though.
yeah, my uncle got gray eyes.
daddy got-
nephew got
There's all kinds of eye colors in your family and in
we
mine too.
got
So
different hazel, green, and gray, and wild stuff happening all over the place. So
right.
it happens with two black parents. Just kids sometimes come
Red
out
hair, blue eyes, light skin. I've seen it. Right.
recessive genes come in
Right.
and they do their thing. But when everybody's recessive, it's like, what is happening here?
Right.
That should have been something that, like, how do we make it 5 years with that?
I don't
He
know.
probably just got the courage to do it. Like,
Here's what happened. There's an update from the dad.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't know how many of you have been down a self-doubt rabbit hole before, but it's not the most logical place to be. It's even less logical when you have the whole damn internet telling you that your wife is cheating, and you take you for all you're worth and never really loved you, and you always sort of thought she was too good for you anyway. So you end up seeing everything as a sign of infidelity, and then you get not one but two failed paternity tests on your daughter.
Lord.
When COVID had happened, I got fat. I got depressed. I stopped eating, feeling like a person. My wife stayed beautiful. She stayed herself. I was sure that she'd made a mistake, that she'd regret being with me. I started getting into some online groups, especially on Reddit, that were full of guys who'd been cheated on, lost custody, lost everything. And when someone said that his tip-off was that he and his wife both had blue eyes and their son had brown, I felt effing stupid. I did not want to jump to conclusions, but when I made a post about my fears, everyone said that she was cheating. People said not to say anything because she'd use it to hide her cheating and get ahead of me in the divorce. I got the test and didn't really think it'd come back negative. Then it did. I didn't want to believe it, but yeah, I pulled back. I felt betrayed. I wanted to be a good husband, but I couldn't shake this.
That's a lot.
I tried to find evidence of an affair and I'd failed. I got another test. When that was also negative, I snapped. If you've ever been cheated on, you know what it feels like. When my wife denied it, I got angrier. I just wanted her to leave. I didn't want to go through what everyone seemed to think that was going to happen. I didn't want to lose custody of my kid. I didn't want to lose my house. I was scared and angry and wanted the truth. I felt like if she couldn't even be honest, there was no getting past this.
Right.
I took a few hours to calm down. When she came back with a list of tests to take, I tried to keep my cool. I tried to keep cool for so long. I knew I was wrong about the affair, but so was everyone else in my ear. My kid is genuinely not biologically mine.
Crazy.
I didn't even immediately consider that switch at birth was an option. I've been through a messed up time, and I didn't think getting angry one time because I thought my wife cheated and lying was about to make I've been through a messed up time, and I don't think getting angry one time because I thought my wife cheated and was lying about it makes me a monster.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Definitely understand.
I mean, I understand the whole rabbit hole. COVID did a number on a lot of people.
Right.
And like you said, he finally got the courage because he went through the whole...
Yeah.
And it was a lot of insecurities compiling on each other. And then he went through those subreddits, and they were like, yeah, bro, she's cheating. That's a crazy situation.
Chamber, bro. You going around somebody when everybody's been cheated on. They all looking at life through that lens. It's going to be tough to hear anything other than, yeah, you got cheated on too. Because they're going to see life the same way you are afraid of right now. That's tough.
It is.
But like I said, it was only one of a few things.
That's a very, very crazy situation to be in because you love the child that you have. But now you also know that there's a kid out there. She did write in another subreddit talking about legal advice. Like, I don't want to go public with this, but my child is not my own. We just found out will my child be taken from me if this comes out? So that's her main fear now.
That's crazy.
It's a lot.
The kid get taken and then they go in a foster type situation and you have nothing and then you still ain't got your kid.
But I honestly don't think that would happen. That the kid would be taken from. They've been parenting this child.
What's the word I'm looking for? The guardian.
Yeah.
They've been the guardian, the legal guardian for this kid. I don't know if they would be taken away like that, but I'm not a...
And then if they find each other, like let's just say they find other family.
Right. They could still make them best friends.
They would have to, hopefully they still live in the same area and they can get to know each other and you can be kind of like an auntie.
Right.
Because you can't switch homes now. That's unstable for the child.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very sticky situation. Yeah, right? These are your rightful parents. Like, you can't do that to the kid.
Yeah. All right.
Crazy, right?
Super crazy.
All right. This one is from Am I the A-hole?
We love those.
Am I the A-hole for predetermining, quote unquote, my baby's sex?
Yes.
Am I the A-hole? It's quote unquote, though, predetermining.
How you predetermine?
Listen to the story.
Let me tell you, look, I need this X chromosome to stay over there. I need a Y to come on through.
Am I the a-hole for predetermining my baby's sex? Sorry if the title isn't great. I had a hard time coming up with something that would make sense. Hopefully it does, and it's not misleading.
She manifested it while it was in her belly.
Okay. To start, me, 27 female, and my husband, 28 male, have been married for 4 years.
Okay.
His parents, his mother specifically, and I have never had any problems, but we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye.
Okay.
We've always got along and been civil. Our future family has been the talk for years. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have children.
Okay.
All of his siblings have at least one. It's been a running joke in the family that if our first happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else had a boy for a firstborn.
Oh, man.
The joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I didn't want to start anything, and maybe I'm just being sensitive.
So you said I picked a girl because I want to ruin things for this family.
Fast forward a few months ago, and we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant, and we tracked my cycle and had schedules for sex for the best chance.
Oh, man.
Infertility runs in my family, and my hubby and I agreed on a big family, so I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game.
I have a question about that. Like, I don't mean to be insensitive about this situation, but like, doesn't it seem like that would put stress on the body to be trying on a clock like that? Like,
100%.
That seems more stressful than just keep doing it. Like, it seems like it'd be stressful to be like...
And not fun and more of a chore.
You gotta go now.
Well, the thing is, once you know you're ovulating and now is the time, that's why they do it. They're like, now is the best time to do it. So not just have sex randomly. Let's have sex at a time where we know it's optimized.
I know, but I'm saying
I
like
100% agree with you.
just keep being stay
Sexually
regular.
active.
Just keep being sexually active.
Yeah,
Then you know
I agree. Because it's not
you ain't
fun
had
anymore.
sex for 2 weeks, and then now okay, let's go, and then you stressed out like okay, it's got to happen this time because we're gonna miss our window. Like, just I don't know. Everybody,
agree.
let me just shut up because I don't want to.
No, but the thing about it is that that's usually what happens when you. I know a lot of people who have been like, who were trying, and nothing happened until they relaxed, or they thought it wasn't going to happen for them. Then they just stopped
Say
trying and
whatever.
relaxed, and then they got pregnant.
It's because
Because
the
the
stress on
pressure
it'll
of
be
it,
the stress on the body, like for the man and the woman.
and the
Like
mental, like your body actually
Yeah.
doesn't react well to stress in those
I don't know.
situations.
That's just a
So.
thought,
But anyways, when I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couple conversations that come with having a baby: the excitement, the names, nursery themes, gender predictions, etc. He talked about wanting a son first so he could be the big strong leader for all his younger siblings and carry on the family name, a very big deal to him instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl I could dress up and match with. It became a playful banter. He referred to the baby as a son, and I would call the baby our daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up all the old wives' tales and made a chart we could fill out together to see who would hypothetically win our little bet. I included the ring test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeat, cravings,
Lord.
etc. The results ended up being about 50-50 in the end, which made us even more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. We were both extremely excited. Hubby was disappointed to lose, but told me that he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone, as their conversation carried on for well over an hour.
wow.
The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later that evening. I
Pick up his belongings.
immediately tried to call him, only to realize he had blocked my number.
Lord Jesus, what is going on
Then
here?
I tried his mom. His mother picked up on the first ring. Before I had the chance to get in a word, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative bee. I asked her what I had done, and she told me I had ruined her son's reputation with my inexcusable behaviors and tendencies. I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her what the F she was talking about. She told me the divorce papers were already written up and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I had been intending to do all this time. Again, slightly kindly this time. Huh?
So that's what the quotations around.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. Predetermining. I again, slightly less kindly this time, asked her what the F she was talking about, to which she told me my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl.
This can't be real.
I was gobsmacked. I explained to her that it takes two to tango, and there's no way to truly decide the gender of the baby, and if her or her son had a problem with the gender, it was his fault, as it's his chromosome that determines the gender.
Determines the gender.
But she had proof that I'd handpicked to have a girl.
Oh my God.
Like I said before, we use a calendar to determine which days would be best for sex. Well, mother-in-law accused me of forcing him to do it with me on the specific day when the
His
Chinese...
X chromosome should have been them. Oh my God. Go ahead.
Which the Chinese horoscope would point to girl. She also interrogated me on the sex position we used to conceive the baby, which I gave her a piece of my mind and told her that was none of her business. But she smugly informed me that my husband had already told her that the position we used makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. In parentheses, she says, if anyone currently trying for a girl, specifically doing cowgirl sometime in the middle of February, should do the trick every time.
Doing what? Oh, cowgirl. Oh my gosh.
Cowgirl in the middle of February should make you a girl.
Oh my gosh.
She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting, and she was glad that to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since, and it's been
That's
over a
insane.
month. He's blocked me on everything. I can't help but feel that this hasn't been all his choice, but then again, he is a grown-ass adult. So I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been
And you
staying
say
with
he's
my
31 years old?
28.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking I want to get my own place, maybe even a few states away. What should I do? Should I pack up and move? Should I continue trying to contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated. Wild, right?
This is ridiculous. I got no words. This is absolutely ridiculous. Like, what in the world will possess somebody to think they possibly... This is just dumb. It's literally just dumb. Like, you don't know
But here's my
how the
thing.
human body works.
Yeah, but that's if it's an old school mother from like a different one of those different countries that believe in those things, that's fact to her. That's a fact to her. So that's I understand people believing in that. My thing is he came off from her perspective at first
Happy.
super down,
Calling, told them.
giggling, laughing with her.
You're done.
We have a little horoscope thing, charts, whatever we're playing, and now see, let's see. Well, according to this, da da da, la ha ha ha. And then we call, and then you pack your things and leave.
Somebody will be coming
No
to get his
conversation.
stuff.
Did they kidnap him? What is happening? Because that's crazy to me. From that to no words, that's your wife.
I have no words. I got no
I've
comment.
never. This has never happened, folks.
I got no words. This is just
Is this somebody with a serious case of enmeshment with the family?
no, it's giving me what was the name of that movie? It was a movie where the family was a family that owned a board game company, and they were the new young lady was being married into the family, and then like, yo, before we get married, we like to play a game.
Oh, and they were killers and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's giving me vibes like we got some secret society type stuff going on.
And it has to be a boy
It has
or
to
else.
be a boy or...
But did he not know because he was happy? Did he not take that thing seriously? Like something is weird. And I feel bad for her because she genuinely loved this person. And like he's gone.
Yeah, well, you know, it'll be some stuff like this may not be the first time.
This is
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But then why would he be happy?
it's a show. Like,
And then tonight I'm just gonna go to bed.
Yeah. Let me talk to you by yourself. All right. Yeah, Mom, we missed again. I didn't get a boy like you wanted. Then they move over, and then he might just do this again. Like he's the oldest, and imagine that, right?
That's crazier.
I don't know. That's you know that's some movie stuff. Somebody
That
should make
is
a
a
movie out of
movie.
that. If that's not, I don't know. I'm like, this can't be real.
Someone
But-
says, get a lawyer ASAP. They are for sure wanting to avoid any responsibility over the baby. Do it for your daughter, for the respect towards the commitment of deciding to conceive a child as a couple. Child support and full custody. Keep records of everything.
It's wild. Imagine waking up and somebody just, yeah, we having the greatest time of our life. Having the baby girl. What? Yeah, done.
That's wild. Yeah. And the thing is, there's people arguing that there's ways to do this in the comments, just so you're aware.
Ways to have a
boy or a girl. And the people, someone saying this is a myth, but it's a cool theory, such and such. However, that's called the Shetland's method. The Shetland method has been disproven. If you want a baby of specific sense, you need to do IVF, and then they can choose it. That's what I thought the story was going to be about. That she chose the baby sex, because you can do that now with the IVF, but not just by regular
I honestly
sex.
thought we would have a gender identity conversation. That's what I thought we was. That's what I thought when you first brought this up. she decided what it was going to be, and it was going to be an argument because he wanted a boy. They actually had a boy, and then she said, "No, this is going to be a girl. I'm going to raise him up as a girl."
Gotcha.
That's what I thought this was going to be about. Took a very different twist.
That's what I was saying.
Dare I say dark?
Some of these.
Huh?
Yeah. So the math wasn't mathing on a lot of these.
Yeah. It took a different twist. This family is a little different, and I will say this to the young lady. From the sounds of it, you're dodging a bullet, because if that mother has that much power over that son to the point where she can tell him to get up out of bed in the middle of the night,
pack his stuff, leave a note,
and never return, and block that could have happened at any day for any reason, just because the mom has decided, I don't want these two together.
I don't want a girl.
No, I'm just saying, even if it had been a boy, like it wouldn't have mattered. Like the fact that even if it had been a boy, the fact that she has so much power over her son like that, that's going to be a problem.
Yep.
You do not want to be in a marriage or relationship with somebody who has that level of control over your significant other. I understand parents are going to have some influence.
Yeah, but you leave and cleave.
Yeah.
You're supposed to leave and cleave and create this new family where you, as the man, are the head of the household.
Right.
Of course, you're going to have influence. This is why it's important to have a man of God, because the influence from him needs to be God.
Yeah, but the thing is, like with there's going to be family members who have some level of influence,
of course,
because they've been in your life your whole life. It's not that like that,
but not to the point where they can change.
It cannot be where somebody tells you, "I don't like your significant other," and then you just, all right, we're done there. Maybe if you're dating.
And she's pregnant currently.
But not a pregnant wife.
They were trying.
Not a pregnant wife.
He should have let her know.
Check this out. What if it's wrong?
Right, because those things be wrong.
Because sometimes they be looking and I thought I didn't see one over there's a little penis. Look at that. Right. Didn't see that last time. You went a couple of weeks in. Sometimes they be doing them things early and they miss. And depending on what the level of hospital you in, because I know that they take this thing and kind of pull some stuff from the back of the neck now. What was?
I'm not sure, but
in some kind of way it's accurate now, depending on how far along you are. But when they just be looking, I've heard of cases where they come back later on
people missing the other baby.
The other baby was behind.
It was right behind twins. The other baby.
I didn't see it. Like stuff like that happens. So for you to be like, oh, we found it's a girl. Next day, out, number block. Somebody coming to pick up my things. You'll get a divorce papers in the mail type stuff.
My thing is, talked to them in a month. It's been a day.
It's been a month.
And the mom, the day after she called the mom.
Oh, okay.
And the mom said the divorce papers are already ready. She's been waiting for this.
Oh yeah, she ain't like her. She ain't like her to begin with. She was waiting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy,
can I do a quick story just to lighten it up a little bit? This is from What Do I Do subreddit. I have $16,000 from a scammer. Now what? A guy reached out to my restaurant over email and said he wanted me to organize an event for 30 people. He wanted an invoice right away and gave me the email of the band he wanted me to reach out to. Mm-hmm. He didn't care about the details other than the band and that I needed to pay them right away in order to not lose his event day for them to play. He was willing to talk to me over the phone, no email address. We were flagged as spam after I quoted him $20,000. He paid $16,000 through a bank account routed to my business account. In the following days, a customer accidentally sent an email from the band's email, and I caught on to the suspicious details. Why did he want me to pay the band so bad? Fishy that they wanted me to be paid on Cash App. Then Cash App warns me that it's a fraudulent account. Customer wanted me to front money to the band as the money he paid me.
Wait, I'm lost. I'm sorry. So he said, it's 3 people involved, right?
Just him and the other. He's a he's a restaurant owner.
Okay.
Person wants to have an event at his restaurant.
Right, but they're telling you to pay the band.
I
It's
need
a third
this band
party
to pay at
involved.
my thing. Yeah, it has to be this band.
Yeah.
So the band is gonna cost.
21,000.
I quoted him 20,000. He paid
20,000.
16,000 through a bank account.
Right.
And then Cash App says it's fishy. The customer wanted me to front the money to the band as the money he paid me was being approved in the banks. After I told him it was off and I busted him, he didn't respond other than trying to get me to send his money back. Then when I said he was a scammer, he had not replied at all. 3 days later, the money hit my account and has since been sitting there. No idea what to do. Such a weird situation. Any ideas?
The thing is, man, best case scenario, you can call Cash App, because what you don't want to happen is you spend the money and they start coming at you.
Yep.
The other side of it is if they already flagged it as fraud, so it might get taken back. I don't know
pretty
how
much
long.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been by the time he wrote this, but no, he doesn't need to. He don't need to do that. He don't even mess with it. Just leave it alone, and don't touch it. Leave it in the Cash App, and don't touch it until they figure out what's going on with it. Because if they flagged it as fraudulent from Cash App already, and it came over some kind of way,
It's gonna get reversed.
It's gonna get reversed, and they're gonna be looking at you like, what happened with this money? That's all it be anyways. He's probably trying to have you send it to another account that's his,
Correct.
calling it some type of ban or whatever, and then you pay them and it came out of your real account, and then they leave you alone and you looking crazy. So no. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Moral of the story today, stop playing with people about their kids. Don't play about infidelity. And yeah, that's kind of it.
I think it's really not trying to harm people. Like a lot of the things is like that's a harmful thing. Don't think
She was just simple.
that's
I don't even know if I don't know if she was special, like simple like that, or if she was really trying to hurt him. But I think the thing that made most sense is that she was kind of testing the waters to kind of see how this would go over, and then when it didn't, it's like, yeah, I'm just playing. Ha, ha, ha.
Right.
But don't play about infidelity. Definitely don't play about somebody's kid. It's a very touchy situation. So yeah, definitely, as we're saying, touchy situations. I want you to touch that like button. That is a situation I want you to touch. Please make sure you do so. Comment, subscribe, share every single time. Thank you for joining us during this time period. We appreciate every moment, every second that you spend. Please also like the Instagram page of the same name, Unks in the Building, UNCS in
The
the
building.
building. Goodbye.
Bye.